Ladies and gentlemen, type in Joe Biden. Either right now, press pause, or type in Joe Biden after this segment. Type in Joe Biden on the Google. When I type in Joe Biden, I get Fox News. Chris Wallace says Biden tore a big hole in Trump's mental shot claim with DNC speech, which is hilarious for many reasons. I get CNN hits and misses from final night of the Democratic Convention, National Convention, and I get CNBC. GOP pollsters give Biden high marks on speech. Challenges for Donald Trump are significant. Okay. Then I click on news, and then I get, in addition, Alabama pollster goes way back with Joe Biden, and I get People Magazine, People.com, about a student who likes Biden, makes him feel confident. Then I get a New York Times article, Democratic Convention, Best and Worst Moments from Joe Biden's Big Night. And then you get Politico, Biden just made it a lot harder for Republicans to tag him Slow Joe. And so the theme of Biden's, the theme of the most boring, the biggest political catastrophe in the internet's history, the theme of what amounted to a digital and televised disaster, absolute catastrophe. The theme is, well, he can actually speak. This is fantastic. So they were very proud when he rode his bike and he could speak. And it's like, okay, this is now the standard. I told you, if their contempt of Trump, first of all, eventually Clinton is going to save the Democratic Party. I will have made the biggest political call of all time. If they go with Biden during the debates, if they go with Biden on election day, they will lose miserably. And instead of screaming, they'll scream Putin, but they'll yell out USPS. And who knows what they're capable of doing, or who they'll blame. They're the biggest sore losers and cheaters I've ever seen in my life. But what did we get from the Democratic Convention? What did you get from this convention other than Democrats are the most pathetic, weak, and sad political party that's ever existed in human history? At least in 2016, when they cheated Bernie Sanders and Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign in disgrace, as were 4 other Democratic officials, at least, there was some enthusiasm, there was passion, there was energy among the I'm with her crowd. There's no energy. Nobody, even, Trump supporters know that November 3rd is coming. We're all looking forward to it because we're all going to vote. And we know that Democrats are capable of cheating. Actually cheating. Philadelphia election, judge of elections, or here, I'll read it to you right now. Philadelphia election judge convicted here. So this is South Philly judge of elections admits he took bribes to stuff ballot box for Democratic candidates. Philadelphia Inquirer. May 21st, 2020, a former judge of elections and Democratic committee person from South Philadelphia has pleaded guilty to accepting thousands of dollars in bribes to inflate the vote total for 3 Democratic candidates for common pleas court judge in 2015. I mean, we can go on forever. There is a tremendous amount of potential. There's definitely a tremendous amount of potential for fraud with mail-in votes. And we've seen, you can just look here, I just read you a South Philly judge of elections admits it took bribes to stuff ballot box for Democratic candidates. This is Plymouth Township woman charged after forging daughter's signature on absentee ballot application August 1st, 2020. So, I mean, we can go on forever. 100,000 ballots were rejected in the California primary for the California Democratic primary. We can go on forever. 30%, why 30% of Florida's voting is ripe for fraud. Palm Beach Post regarding absentee ballots. Error and fraud at issue as absentee voting rises. This is a 2012 article. There are so many. Slate has a 2016 article. My point is this. They're going to lose if they go with Biden. Now, I don't see them I don't see them going with Biden. People say, well, he accepted the nomination. So what? If you buy a used car that's stolen, you still don't really own the car. And this is the Democratic Party we're talking about. They always have something up their sleeve. And I'm not a fan. I wrote in the Huffington Post, The Hill, Salon. My articles went viral. I'm not a fan. I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. And thank God I'm voting for President Trump. Now, he's a great president. It's very easy to go from Bernie Sanders to President Trump. If you want an end to never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts, which is the biggest issue we face as a country, far bigger than climate change, far bigger. You want to know why? Because climate change, there's not one country in the world that can reverse the damage or can reverse the climate catastrophe we might face in 11 years. Not one country in the world. You need a whole bunch of countries. And every other country is like, hey, wait a second. You did what you had to do to grow your economy, and now you want us to implement all of these climate change policies when you didn't? That's a whole other story. It's a big issue, but it's not something that you can address immediately as a country, okay? Our foreign policy, and I look at it first and foremost as our foreign policy from George W. Bush to Cheney and Rumsfeld, the Lincoln Project, people that adore Democrats and the Democrats who love them, and then Clinton and Biden and President Obama, who destroyed Libya. These are, when you look at Vietnam, you look at the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld foreign policy and the countries that suffered. You look at Libya, where human beings are being bought and sold. This is the biggest moral issue of our time. If you think any other issue is more important than what we do to American men and women in the United States Armed Forces, our soldiers, men and women who are fighting for us, sending them off to never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts, and the unintended consequences of our foreign policy for millions of people throughout the world. If you don't think, I'm just going to speak like a Democrat. This is actually not the way I communicate, but this is the way a Democrat would express his thoughts. If you don't think that's the most moral, or if you don't think that's the biggest issue, you're an immoral person. It is immoral. It is immoral to push for Lincoln Project, Biden, Clinton, President Obama type foreign policy. It is immoral. You're a bad person. You're a bad human being. And I don't care if you focus on other issues. There's no other issue that's more important than bringing home Americans or reversing U.S. foreign policy for the past 20 years, or getting them at least out of never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. President Trump just signed a peace deal in late February, early March to get us out of Afghanistan. That would never have happened with Clinton. So you have people on the left talking about, well, Trump, he's going to destroy our democracy, and he stands for something. He stands for a reversal of U.S. foreign policy. Now, the left is very, very good at trying to circumvent reality. Like, well, he launched a missile strike, and yeah, I never said he was a pacifist. Sorry, he's not a pacifist. okay? But he's reversing U.S. foreign policy. There's a difference, okay? A little nuance. You can do it, leftists or Democrats or whatever. You can do it. You can understand the difference, okay? And I was against that when he launched those strikes. But again, it's different from sending Americans off or engaging in a NATO intervention that removes a leader and then destroys that country. And then you leave, and then human beings are being bought and sold. And that's in Libya. President Trump stands for something. That's why the media and the Lincoln Project and Hollywood and all of these former national security, former officials in the national security realm oppose Trump. Yeah, good. Well, Republicans oppose Trump. Good. That's why I'm voting for Trump. What did I say what did I say when I was on the left? Republican establishment, same thing as the Democratic establishment, same thing. They're proving, it's so funny. They're so tone deaf is a word, but they're so clueless. They don't understand how President Trump won, and they don't care. And this is why they will continually lose to Trump. Well, they'll lose to Trump this election. If they go with Biden, they might not even get the popular vote. There is zero enthusiasm. And that's why I think Clinton's going to save the day. Because when Clinton comes, I should say, when Clinton debates President Trump, I will have made the biggest political call of all time, but you'll see buzz, electricity, energy, enthusiasm. And all it takes is Tom Perez saying, gosh, we need a new candidate. They can do it. Why? Is that absurd? I'm sorry. Cheating Bernie Sanders and Debbie Wasserman Schultz being forced to resign, that's not absurd. And blaming Russia for 4 years, they have no shame. There's no shame in their game. They don't care. Do you understand? They don't care. They'll rewrite the rules at a moment's notice. There are no rules. They don't have any rules. They have no rules. They have no rules. Anyway, they will lose miserably, which is why I'm like, I should be a lot more well, let's put it this way. One would think I would be extremely disappointed that it hasn't happened sooner rather than later, that Clinton becomes nominee eventually. But I don't really, at the end of the day, Biden goes up against Trump. It's like a great white shark versus a guppy. Do you realize I am a Trump supporter? I want Americans home from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. I don't care about his mean tweets. I want a president who signs the First Step Act. I want a president who engages in prison reform legislation as opposed to 1,000 cases that needed to be dropped because of a crime lab that Kamala Harris, she incarcerated people of color wrongfully, the numerous cases. But I want a president who signs an executive order combating anti-Semitism, which is running rampant on college campuses. Rampant. I want a president who signs an executive order lowering prescription drug prices or engaging in methods to lower prescription drug prices. I want a president who is the first president to step foot in North Korea. I want a president who also goes up against very corrupt intelligence officials. Notice how Democrats love Comey and Clapper, don't like William Barr, love President Obama, they don't like President Trump. So they're like, oh, the government, the intel community said, well, the Justice Department, along with John Durham and Richard Grenell, who is an amazing intelligence official, was an amazing intelligence official before John Ratcliffe, came to the conclusion that, oh yeah, that's right, they set up and framed Trump. So notice how Democrats don't care about the intel community now. Now that the intel community is saying, oh yeah, Trump was set up and framed. Wasn't a peaceful transition of power, sorry. Which makes me ask also, why would Trump say, welcome to the field of battle? So he kept on saying, well, why is it that President Obama waited to endorse Biden? I don't think that they're serious about Biden. And I don't think it's beyond reason, that they would switch. If they have any chance at all, they switch. And anyway, give me your thoughts below. Clinton will be debating Trump. And if they're so inept and incompetent, they trot out Biden, Tales from the Crypt, It's going to be a semi truck versus a unicycle. It's not even going to be. It's actually going to be uncomfortable to watch. And I say this as somebody voting for President Trump, who's a great president. We had record low unemployment. You want to talk about the response to the pandemic? I love how Democrats or people on the left. Do you know that New York's Governor Cuomo tweeted on March 1st, the risk remains low. There's no reason for undue anxiety. New York is the epicenter. Look at the aggregate, not like sliced and diced statistics that I was talking about as a percentage of the population, not as a percentage of cases. No. Aggregate. Look up what the word aggregate means, Democrats, and then find out in total how many people have lost their lives in New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and then you can add about 3 to 4 Democratic states. You have about eight Democratic states that account for around half. 8 out of 50 states. We have 50 states, Democrats, 50 states. And 8 that are run by Democratic governors account for half of the cases in the entire country and half of the lives lost. If it was the other way around, it was 8 red states, you better believe that's all they would harp on. So Trump's response is the same response that President Obama would have had, or Clinton. His response was just fine. He cannot tell de Blasio or any other, Pritzker in Illinois, the governor, he can't tell any governor what to do. The governors dropped the ball. The Democratic Party dropped the ball. They literally impeached him right before the pandemic happened. So then they claimed they wanted leadership. They wanted him out of office. And then they say, well, you didn't lead us. They didn't want his leadership. These are the most cowardly, disingenuous fools that have ever existed in politics, in political history. Give me your thoughts below. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. And if you want to support my voice long term, ladies and gentlemen, your support via Patreon to my 17-minute crowd is very, very important, especially going into the home stretch now. Let's bring this home, people. Not talking about the Patreon, but your support is very important. Vote early, November 3rd. You vote, I vote for President Trump. We win, and we could even win the popular vote, because I'm passionate about President Trump. I want a president to sign an executive order combating anti-Semitism on college campuses, which is running rampant. Okay? I want a president who is the first president to step foot in North Korea and begin détente. Does that mean peace is going to happen tomorrow? No. Does that mean there's never going to be obstacles? Well, of course there are. But see, that's the thing. He's never given credit for anything he does. I want record low unemployment. We had record low unemployment. Then Democrats say, oh my God, look at Trump's economy. Go and look. The statistics, the states with the highest unemployment rate are yet again Democratic states. The highest unemployment rates and the highest rates of the pandemic and the largest toll of lives lost. Not Trump's fault. Okay? Give me your thoughts below. It's the fault of Democratic governors and mayors who did not plan for this. But give me your thoughts below. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. Biden loses miserably. Do you know anyone wearing a Biden hat? Or I am the only person in all of YouTube that has Biden gear, and that's satirical. Do you know anyone wearing I'm riding with Biden or no malarkey or whatever his tagline or slogan is, whatever? Do you know anyone who said, oh, I'm so passionate to vote for Biden? The reason that Democrats and media don't understand why Trump supporters even exist or why they would vote for President Trump is because their hubris, their narcissism won't allow them to actually look beyond their fantasy world where Trump is this monster and this ogre. No politician could withstand the onslaught from media. I mean, Trump has his own personality, but everyone all those liberals watch The Apprentice. They're all lying. Oh, I can't stand his personality. You watch The Apprentice. You watched The Apprentice. You, read his books. So they're all lying. They're the biggest liars on the planet. The problem is when President Obama, tell me what Trump has done that's worse than what President Obama did in destroying Libya. Tell me what Trump has done that's worse than what President Obama did in drinking Flint water. And so, I need a drink. I'm very thirsty. And he was poisonous still. If Trump did that, oh my God, he was on a campaign to deceive and poison people. I mean, it's like they're apoplectic. Give me your thoughts below. Biden, he's not going to be a nominee. Clinton will save the Democratic Party. She's the only chance they have. And she'll lose also, but she could make it very close. Biden would get demolished by Trump. Absolutely demolished. So if my big prediction doesn't happen, my other prediction will, that President Trump wins. Because Biden has zero enthusiasm, and his biggest claim to fame now is that, oh wow, he has some cognitive ability. This is fantastic. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you so very, very much. Be here on this channel this evening, every evening, 9 p.m. Pacific, around 9 p.m. Pacific. I have the best late evening live stream in all of YouTube. Be here around 9 p.m. Pacific this evening. Thank you.